Crystal chandeliers bathed the long mahogany dining table in warm golden light inside the sprawling Voss Hale mansion. Silverware gleamed beside half-empty plates of gourmet roast and imported wine. Elena Voss sat at one end with perfect posture, her emerald eyes steady. Marcus Hale stood suddenly, glass raised, as his mother Victoria, sister Claire, and Lila Montgomery leaned in with eager smiles. Emma shifted nervously in her chair beside her mother, clutching a napkin. The family's laughter died down as Marcus's voice cut through the room with cruel delight. "Everyone listen up. I've carried this marriage long enough. Elena here? She's done nothing but sit at home for 8 years while I built everything at Voss Global Enterprises. What a waste of space." Marcus deserves a real partner, not someone who contributes zero value. Exactly. Lila actually understands business. You're just decoration, Elena. Thank you. I'm so glad we're finally being honest tonight. Sign the divorce papers, Elena. Right now. I'm done pretending. Lila is moving in tomorrow. Elena's fingers remained perfectly still as she reached for the pen. She signed each page with calm, elegant strokes, while the family clapped and cheered. Emma's eyes filled with tears as she stared at her mother. Elena offered her daughter a small, reassuring smile that never reached her own eyes. "If this is what you want, Marcus, consider it done." Heavy oak doors closed behind Elena as she stepped into the dimly lit study, lined with leather-bound books and dark wood paneling. Soft lamplight cast long shadows across the antique desk. She sat down slowly, her posture still impeccable, and placed the signed papers on the polished surface. The muffled sound of celebration continued faintly from the dining room. Her phone vibrated silently on the desk. She glanced at the screen showing an incoming call from David Reed, her trusted lawyer, and answered without hesitation. "David, it's done. They think I have nothing left. Keep everything ready on your end. No one can know yet." "Understood, Elena. The board documents are sealed. Voss Global remains entirely under your control. Just say the word when you're ready to move." Elena ended the call and stared at the glowing screen for a moment. A faint spark of quiet power flickered behind her calm expression before she slipped the phone away. She rose and walked to the tall window overlooking the manicured garden, her reflection showing the same dignified composure. Outside, the night seemed to hold its breath. Bright morning light poured through the tall windows of the master bedroom, highlighting the king-sized bed and open suitcases scattered across the thick Persian rug. Elena Voss folded her clothes with steady, graceful movements, while Marcus and Lila watched from the doorway. Emma stood close to her mother, small fingers gripping the hem of Elena's blouse. Lila stepped inside and began rifling through the jewelry box on the dresser, holding up pieces with a possessive smile. Marcus crossed his arms, his expression growing more impatient. "Speed it up, Elena. Lila is moving her things in this afternoon. The master closet is hers now. You can take the tiny guest room down the hall if you're still here tonight." "Those heirloom pieces from your grandmother? They'll look much better on me. Hand them over before you drag them out of here." "The jewelry stays with me. It was never part of any shared assets." Elena closed the suitcase with a quiet click and placed a protective hand on Emma's shoulder, her emerald eyes never wavering. Marcus chuckled darkly and exchanged a smug glance with Lila. The air in the room grew heavier with their growing entitlement. Sunlight filtered through floor-to-ceiling glass doors in the grand living room, illuminating marble floors and the cream-colored sofa where Victoria and Claire sat. Elena descended the stairs carrying a small overnight bag, Emma trailing behind her with red-rimmed eyes. Victoria set her coffee cup down sharply and rose to block the path toward the front door. Claire scrolled through her phone but looked up with a disdainful smirk as the family closed in around Elena. "You actually believed you could stay here after last night? Marcus has been far too generous. Pack everything and get out by tomorrow. This house belongs to our family, not you." "Mom is right. Emma should stay with us too. A child needs real stability, not whatever broke life you'll scrape together after this." "Listen to my mother, Elena. Sign over any claim to the house today, Don't make this messier than it already is. Emma stays with me. I will not discuss this in front of her. Elena gently guided Emma away from the group, her posture remaining perfectly straight, despite the walls closing in. Victoria's eyes narrowed in frustration at Elena's unbroken composure. As the mother and daughter moved toward the foyer, soft jazz music played quietly in the upscale cafe located in the city center. Elena sat at a private corner table across from David Reed, two steaming coffees resting between them on the polished wooden surface. David glanced around to ensure privacy before sliding a thin folder across the table. Elena opened it with precise, unhurried movements. Outside the large window, luxury cars glided past on the busy street, while David leaned forward, keeping his voice low and professional. The board meeting is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon. Your silent instructions from last quarter already blocked Marcus's latest expansion plan. They still have no idea you're the one behind it. Good. Keep it that way for now, David. Let them believe I am completely powerless. Everything is prepared. When you decide the moment is right, the full ownership transfer documents will activate immediately. You remain the majority stakeholder of Voss Global. Elena closed the folder and slid it back to him, a faint glint of quiet determination appearing briefly in her green eyes. She took a slow sip of her coffee, the first small sign of the hidden power she controlled beginning to surface in controlled silence. Afternoon sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the sleek boardroom on the 25th floor. A long glass conference table reflected the faces of 12 directors seated in high-backed leather chairs. Marcus Hale stood at the head of the table, projector displaying his ambitious expansion plan for Voss Global's European division. He gestured confidently with a laser pointer while the room remained unusually quiet. The chairman, an older man with silver hair, cleared his throat and slid a sealed document across the polished surface. Marcus's smile faltered as he scanned the first page. This is straightforward approval. We've discussed the numbers for weeks. What's the holdup? The majority stakeholder has reviewed the proposal. They've exercised their veto. The expansion is blocked pending further internal audit. Majority stakeholder? I'm the face of this company. Who exactly is overriding me on my own project? Several board members exchanged uneasy glances, but offered no further explanation. The chairman simply closed his folder with finality. Marcus gripped the edge of the table, his knuckles whitening as the first crack of uncertainty appeared in his usually arrogant expression. The private executive elevator descended smoothly from the boardroom level, soft classical music playing through hidden speakers. Marcus stood alone at first. Then Lila Montgomery slipped in just before the doors closed. Marcus loosened his tie with sharp tugs, staring at his reflection in the mirrored walls. Lila checked her phone, her earlier confidence now replaced by a frown. The elevator stopped at the lobby level with a soft ding. Marcus stepped out quickly, phone already to his ear, as they crossed the marble-floored lobby toward the glass exit doors. Mother, something's wrong at the company. The board just killed the European expansion. They mentioned a majority stakeholder veto. I thought I controlled everything. That's impossible. You're the public face. Find out who this mystery stakeholder is immediately. We cannot afford any surprises right now. Marcus, if someone is pulling strings behind the scenes, what if Elena knows more than we thought? She was too calm last night. Marcus stopped abruptly near the revolving doors, the busy city street visible beyond the glass. He ended the call and stared out at the traffic, the first real doubt clouding his sharp features as the hidden power began to shift beneath his feet. Soft lamplight glowed inside the quiet, private legal office overlooking the city skyline. Leather-bound law books lined one wall, while David Reed's large oak desk held neatly organized files. Elena Voss sat across from David, her cream silk blouse still impeccable despite the long day. Emma waited patiently in the adjacent small lounge area with a picture book. David slid a thick folder toward Elena containing the latest board updates. She opened it slowly, emerald eyes scanning the pages with calm precision. The veto went through exactly as you instructed last quarter. Marcus is starting to ask questions. The board is getting nervous about keeping your identity sealed much longer. They mocked me in front of our daughter, David. But Emma deserves one last chance at a normal life before everything changes. I have to choose the right moment. You're standing at the edge, Elena. Reveal now, and you take back everything tonight. Wait, and they might dig deeper. The choice is yours. Elena closed the folder and glanced toward the lounge where Emma sat, her small shoulders relaxed for the first time in days. A quiet storm of resolve built behind Elena's dignified expression as she weighed the difficult path ahead, the hidden empire she controlled now brushing dangerously close to the surface. Soft pink walls lined with stuffed animals surrounded Emma's bedroom on the second floor of the mansion. A single bedside lamp cast a warm but fragile glow across the small bed and scattered storybooks. Elena knelt directly in front of her daughter, gently brushing away fresh tears from Emma's flushed cheeks. Marcus, Victoria, and Lila filled the doorway like a wall, their expressions cold and triumphant. Emma's small body trembled as she threw her arms around her mother's neck, clinging desperately while the adults watched without a trace of sympathy. Mommy, please don't leave me here alone. They said if you go, I have to stay with Daddy and Grandma forever. I want to go with you. My arms hurt from holding you so tight. It's finished, Elena. My lawyers filed for full custody this afternoon. You have no job, no money, and no assets left. No judge in this city will give you Emma. She stays in this house where she belongs. You've humiliated this family long enough. Take whatever you can carry tonight and disappear. Emma will forget you soon enough. Elena's perfect composure finally cracked as she held her daughter even closer. Her emerald eyes glistening with unshed tears she refused to let fall in front of them. She whispered soft reassurances into Emma's hair, while the three antagonists stood motionless, their victory feeling complete in the heavy silence. Dim lamplight filled the elegant but impersonal hotel suite on the 20th floor. Unpacked suitcases rested near the floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the glittering city skyline, now blurred by falling rain. Elena sat alone on the edge of the king-sized bed, her cream silk blouse wrinkled for the first time. She stared at an old photo on her phone of Emma laughing in her arms, tears finally sliding silently down her cheeks. The weight of the day crushed down on her as she dialed David Reed with shaking fingers. Her voice, usually so steady, broke the moment he answered. David, they've filed for full custody of Emma. They told her I'm worthless and that she'll never see me again. I hid everything for 8 years because I wanted Marcus to love me for me. I gave him the company publicly so we could be a normal family. But he never loved us. I can't let them destroy her life, too. Elena, I'm so sorry. Everything is ready on my end. One word from you, and we activate the full ownership transfer. Elena wiped her tears and straightened her posture, the quiet storm inside her finally settling into unbreakable steel. She ended the call and stared out at the rain-streaked window, her emerald eyes now burning with final purpose as the darkest moment forged her decision. Tomorrow. Full reveal at the company gala. It ends tomorrow. Crystal chandeliers illuminated the opulent grand ballroom, packed with executives in tuxedos and women in designer gowns. Round tables glittered with fine china and champagne flutes under soft golden lighting. Marcus Hale commanded the raised stage, microphone in hand, his arrogant smile beaming as the audience listened attentively. Victoria, Claire, and Lila occupied the front table, nodding with proud approval. Elena Voss stood at the back near the double doors in her striking emerald gown, David Reed positioned discreetly beside her with a sealed envelope. The entire elite crowd had no idea what was about to unfold. Tonight marks another milestone for Voss Global. Under my leadership, we've grown beyond anyone's imagination. I want to thank my family for their unwavering support, especially my soon-to-be wife, Lila. He deserves every bit of this spotlight. That useless woman is finally out of our lives. Polite applause rippled through the room. Marcus basked in it, completely unaware, as Elena began walking slowly down the central aisle toward the stage. David Reed followed a step behind her, the envelope now in his hand like a weapon ready to be unsheathed. Elena ascended the short flight of stairs to the stage with elegant, unhurried steps, her emerald gown catching the spotlight. Marcus's smile froze mid-sentence as he turned and saw her.
The audience murmured in confusion.
Board members shifted in their seats while Victoria, Claire, and Lila stared with open shock from the front row. David Reed joined her on stage and handed her the envelope. Elena took the microphone from Marcus's suddenly limp fingers with calm authority.
Good evening, everyone.
Most of you know me only as Marcus Hale's soon-to-be ex-wife, but for the past 8 years, I have been the silent majority owner and founder of Voss Global Enterprises. Elena, what the hell are you doing? This is not funny. Get off the stage right now. Gasps swept across the ballroom. Phones began recording as board members leaned forward in stunned silence. Elena opened the envelope and held up the legal documents, her voice steady and commanding as she addressed the entire gathering. These documents confirm my full ownership. Marcus Hale is hereby terminated from all positions effective immediately. His shares, company credit cards, and access are revoked. Security will escort him from the premises. This is confirmed. The board has been aware of Mrs. Voss's control for years. We stand by her decision. 2 uniformed security guards appeared from the wings and moved toward Marcus. The once arrogant man stood frozen, his world collapsing in front of hundreds of witnesses. Victoria, Claire, and Lila rose from their table in panic, their faces pale with disbelief. Elena stepped down from the stage and walked directly toward the front table where the family sat. The entire ballroom watched in rapt silence as spotlights followed her movement. Marcus was already being led away by security, his protests echoing uselessly. Victoria clutched her pearl necklace, mouth opening and closing without sound. Claire and Lila backed away slightly, their designer dresses suddenly looking out of place in the face of total defeat. You mocked me at our dinner table. You tried to take my daughter and everything I built in secret so you could feel powerful. Now you have nothing. The house, the cars, the accounts, all transferred back under my control this afternoon. Elena, please. We're family. Think of Emma. Emma will never be used as a weapon again. You will never see her without my permission. This is the justice you earn. The crowd erupted in murmurs and scattered applause as security firmly escorted Marcus, Victoria, Claire, and Lila toward the exit doors. Elena stood tall in the center of the ballroom, her emerald eyes shining with quiet victory, while the powerful empire she had hidden for so long finally belonged to her once more. Morning sunlight filtered through tall windows of the quiet family courtroom, highlighting polished wooden benches and the judge's elevated bench. Elena sat calmly at one table with David Reed beside her. Marcus, Victoria, Claire, and Lila occupied the opposite side, their faces pale and tense as the judge reviewed the final documents. Emma waited outside in a private waiting room with a court-appointed guardian. The judge lowered his glasses and delivered the ruling with clear finality. After reviewing all evidence, full physical and legal custody of Emma Hale is granted to Elena Voss. Mr. Hale's petition is denied. All prior temporary orders favoring the Hale family are hereby vacated. Your Honor, this can't be right. She had nothing. We are her family. She will ruin that child. Elena remained perfectly still, her emerald eyes steady as the gavel struck once. David offered her a small, proud nod, while the antagonists sat frozen in defeat, their last attempt to control her life shattered in open court. Warm afternoon light poured into the bright, modern luxury penthouse living room high above the city. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed a stunning skyline view, while fresh flowers decorated the marble coffee table. Elena and Emma unpacked the last box together on the soft cream rug, laughter filling the spacious open area for the first time.
Emma held up a favorite stuffed animal with pure joy.
David Reed carried in a final suitcase from the elevator, setting it down gently before watching the mother and daughter with quiet warmth. Mommy, our new home is so pretty. Can we have pancakes every morning and never fight again? Every morning, sweetheart. This is our life now. Safe, happy, and ours. Elena pulled Emma into a tight embrace, her posture finally relaxed and dignified after years of hidden sacrifice. David stepped closer, their eyes meeting with deep, unspoken gratitude and the first gentle spark of something more meaningful than loyalty alone. You built this empire in silence, Elena. Now you get to live in it openly. I'm here for every step. Soft dusk light settled over the quiet residential street in front of the once opulent Voss Hale mansion. A modest moving van idled at the curb, while Marcus loaded the last suitcase into an ordinary sedan. Victoria, Claire, and Lila stood nearby with defeated expressions, their designer clothes now seeming cheap and out of place. Marcus paused, staring up at the darkened windows he no longer owned. In the distance, Elena's sleek black luxury car glided past slowly on the opposite side of the street, Emma visible in the back seat waving happily. David drove with calm confidence. She had everything. The company, the power, our daughter. I mocked her. I threw her away. Now I have nothing left but regret. We lost it all because we underestimated her. She never needed us. Elena never turned her head as the car continued forward, leaving the broken family behind in the gathering shadows.
Marcus watched the taillights disappear, tears finally falling as the weight of his betrayal settled forever too late. True power is not loud or cruel.
It waits patiently in silence, protects what matters most, and rises with quiet dignity when those who betrayed you finally realize what they destroyed.